All right, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is still Thursday, February 13th, 2020. This is my post-market wrap-up, and I mean, what a day on Wall Street. This market was all over the place, up and down. The low of the day for the Dow was down over 200 points. We did finish down about 135, but not before the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ were both in record territory today as this debt pump, Federal Reserve, debt expansion cycle like we have never seen in the history of the world. And I mean that. We just hit a record here for federal spending in 1 month. I want to talk about that too. Let's go over a few other assets before I'm going to blow your mind with this video here. Precious metals caught a bid a little bit. Cryptocurrency is about flat. Crude oil about flat, although OPEC is now talking about more cuts. Of course, look, they're going to prop up crude no matter what they got to do. Refinery fires, bombings, whatever it is. They will do what they have to do to prop up crude oil. It is the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. You all know that. Let's talk about, well, the news today. What did we find out? How about this top one? Credit card rates have now skyrocketed, despite the fact that yields are plunging. As a matter of fact, the 30-year bond today, a historic low. Historic low. The yield curve continues to flatten out and drop. No secret to you. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Who in their right mind or what entity is out here buying all the debt? Well, I'll give you one guess. This is a deliberate act to continue to force cash into the stock market. It's unfreaking believable. Now, look, we'll understand what's happening. At least I think we do. Never before in history have we witnessed nothing comes close to the magnitude of debt acquisition that we are currently in. Again, we're told our economy is booming because the stock market is at or near all-time record highs. Nothing here could be further from the truth. It's debt that's fueling the bubble. It's fueling the bubble in stocks. It's fueling the bubble in housing. It's fueling inverse bubbles by, for example, JP Morgan deliberately rigging the price of metals, malinvestments across the board. Again, this is an environment of extremes like we have never seen. And we heard the truth from a former Fed president today. Let's talk about that. Former Dallas Fed President Richard Fisher. I don't know how many of you caught this, but I literally almost fell out of my chair here. On live TV on CNBC, he made two, not one, but two shocking announcements. Number one, and again, this will not surprise you at all. He said the Fed is running the show. Number two, he said that negative rates will hurt the middle class. I mean, I don't like aligning myself with a former Fed president here, but doesn't that sound like Greg Mannarino or you? I'm sure you don't want to align yourself with these kinds of people either. Or Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs today saying that the stock market rally has legs and it will keep on going, just like I've been explaining to you. I don't want to align myself with Goldman Sachs. I don't. But look, anyone with a brain, half a brain, one functioning brain cell understands where we're going, coronavirus or not. Look, just yesterday, we heard from Fed Chair Powell, who was grilled by the incompetent members of Congress who would not stop talking about the coronavirus. What are you going to do, Mr. Fed President? What are you going to do, Mr. Fed Chair? He's like, well, the Federal Reserve will be ready to act. Of course they are. This is a mechanism, people, to cause fear. Look here. Don't look here. Don't pay any attention to federal spending hitting a new all-time record high. Federal borrowing from the Federal Reserve, new all-time record high. It's not going to stop. It doesn't matter if 10 times the amount of people died right now than, was it 1,400 that were unfortunately lost their lives with regard to this virus? The market is still going up because central banks are going to pump it. The president will continue to lie and tell you that we're booming, tell you that we're adding jobs. You think this is stock market negative? You've got to be kidding me. You know what this is? This is opportunity, and this is deliberate, to allow the investment banks, people like myself, to add to their core holdings. I did that today. I added to 2 of my core holdings today, Apple and Costco. People need to eat, and I promise you, there's going to be no slowdown big enough to hurt Apple. And even if that were the case, I would be buying the dip hand over fist. That's what this is. It's a setup. How many of you realize, I mean, let's just put a perspective on this so we can laugh a little bit, that every single day, over 3,200 people die every single day in automobile accidents. We lost 1,400 so far in total with regard to the virus. Maybe we should all just stop driving. That would save 3,200 lives per day. Look, I don't mean to make light of this, but it's incredible to watch what's happening to people. They're so indoctrinated. They're unable to see what's right in their face. We've seen this before. No crisis goes unexploited with regard to this market. It's used to drive stock prices lower. And what happens? The investment banks get in here and buy every single dip. And why? Because Yellowstone, Powell himself promised that he will pump this market with more debt than you can possibly believe. Rates are going to continue to drop as credit card rates skyrocket here. So you think this is a good thing for you? You think negative rates like the president is calling for is going to help you? It's going to bury you. That's what this is all about, burying whatever is left of the middle class. And we have a stunning admission from a former Fed president. Thank you, Richard Fisher, for telling us all what everyone already knows that follows my blog, that the Fed is running the show and negative rates are bad for the middle class. I mean, unless you are brain dead, and there are throngs of people that are brain dead, you can't see this at all. Why? Because you're deliberately put in the dark, kept in the dark, led astray, distracted. Look here. Look right here. Don't look here. And this is going to go on and on. You know why? Because the public is so easy to manipulate. People are so stupid today. Again, they're mind controlled to an extreme level. They have no capacity for free thought, for free action, free movement. No, this is why everything is dictated to them by that nice box that people sit in front of, by the mainstream media ramming things down their throat, because they are zombies. And again, I don't care what this sounds like. I really don't care, because for me, it's all about you guys and my lions here. We're not going to let this pass us by. Just because, let's say, for example, one of these, a crisis hits and people are going to sit there and get fleeced. No, not me and not my lions and not my friends out here. I refuse to let that happen. If the Wall Street banks are going to capitalize on it, so are you. Okay, I can promise you that. We're not. What are you going to do? Let's see if you work as a job. Let's say a plumber. You're getting all this bad news. Maybe you should stop working. I'm a market guy, okay? So do you think for a second that I'm not going to let an opportunity like this make me richer? I made a nice amount of money in this market today, sitting here trading in a ripped up T-shirt and sweatpants. Sitting here trading the fear. Trading the fear. That's all this is. If you want to buy it, good for you. I'll be on the opposite side of that trade, and I'm going to eat your lunch for you and rip your face off. And so will every single one of my lions. So you sit there and be afraid, and cry, and weep. Yeah, I'm going to weep my way to the bank. I'm going to promise you that. You don't like the way that sounds? Unsubscribe. I don't care. This channel is about lions, period. This channel is about taking the charade and exploiting it and letting you understand what you're seeing, not the brainwashed masses that walk outside my window through time and space, having everything dictated for them. Every choice they make is not theirs. It's incredible. It's incredible. That's where we are here and now. You don't want to listen to me? Listen to a former Fed president who's telling you that the Fed is running the show. It's not over. It doesn't matter. Viruses notwithstanding. Ain't going to happen. The market is going to get pumped higher. The lies will get bigger, people. I've explained this to you forever. Understand the propaganda. Understand what you are looking at. They are looking and seeking and have, many of you, controlled, stuffed into a box, unable to think for yourself. And that is the biggest shame of them all. All right, with that said, I'm out of here. Love all of you. Please share the video. See you in the morning.